Woo, baby. We are getting down into the tea of it all with this custody battle going on between Melody and Martell in this episode. Actually, this episode was quite juicy. It was quite meaty. There was a lot of meat on these bones for this episode. So, I was excited. So, honestly, I am going to give this episode a 10. I give it a 10 because I just felt like there were some very dynamic conversations that were happening. And I felt like, I went into this week's episode not knowing, what it was going to give based on the previews. But I was like, let me just settle in and watch it. And I found myself as I was making my notes, I was pleasantly surprised at the intensity of the conversations that were being had. Also, I like the way that they paced the episode, and I like a couple of things that they did. Like they did a to be continued last week with Kimmy and with Maurice's conversation at the end of that episode last week. And honestly, it was like, what a lot of shows do, and I feel like Love and Marriage has done it before, is that they'll give you a to be continued, and that to be continued scene is so short that you was like, you could have just ended it at the last episode. Okay. They did that with the Stormy and the auntie and the mama and cousin Junior situation. And I felt like y'all could have just ended that at the last episode. But this conversation with Kimmy and Maurice went over, like it went longer. And so I was very intrigued by that. I also like the way they broke up Melody and Martell, detailing the custody situation. Very, very interesting. Some new developments with Kiki and with Leticia, but I'll get into that. I wish that there was something that we could have seen with Leticia, like more of it in the episode. I wanted to see her. Well, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. So those are the reasons why I gave it a 10. Let me know what you guys thought about it. Were you entertained by this episode? I always like it when there's things for people to do. Okay. It's not just like conversations are being had to move the needle forward or to explain to us something that we could not see, like the court case. So this episode was fascinating to me, right? And of course, y'all know I'm really all about shows where there are relationships and things happening. All right, things are moving, and I want to see it. All right, so we pick up with Kimmy and Maurice arguing over why she needs to talk to Kiowa. Now, apparently, this is over some apologies that Kimmy was saying that she deserved about 2 years ago. Now, let me say this. I'm kind of with Kimmy on this to a certain degree. Like, I don't really. There are people that I feel like owe me apologies today, right? But I'm okay with never getting them because I kind of just feel like at a certain point in time, you just got to be like, all right, you know what? You may never, I don't need your apologies because I know what I did in that situation and I know how I tried to move. So I can only be responsible for me. And right now, for Kimmy, I'm sure she's just saying, listen, I know who you are. I know where we've been. I'm not trying to go back there. So let's just keep it copacetic for the sake of these kids, okay? Um, but Maurice is pushing it, baby. He is taking the problem with me is it's hard to take Maurice seriously in these conversations because he is oftentimes listen, Maurice is an affable guy, right? But I feel like he leans a little bit too much into that when it's time to have real meaningful conversations. And I agree with Kimmy to a certain degree when Kimmy says in her confessional that Maurice does a lot to protect Monster and Kiowa's image at her expense. Like she's like, yo, like this woman allowed people to run with this narrative that I was some side chick because she indicated that there was some misgivings and something untoward going on while they were still together when lo and behold, the divorce papers were signed it was only Kiowa that was allegedly trying to reconcile. So yeah, I'm sure Kiowa is gonna look at you like you the interloper, you the intruder coming in and stealing my man. But at that point in time, it sounds like the relationship is over. Furthermore, ain't Kiowa in a new relationship? Kimmy and Maurice are married. I don't see no need in let me tell you something. Ooh, I'm so glad we here. You know, I feel like this. It just is a little to me disrespectful to the current situation for you to be so heavily invested in something that ain't even worthwhile no more, right? Kyle, well, you in a whole new situation. Kimmy's in a whole marriage. Why are we talking about the past? The only thing that y'all need to focus on now is what's best for Monster. Period. So I agree with Kimmy. Unless, Kimmy, you are hanging on to it, but at the same time, you can't expect for people to offer apologies, as you will see, if they don't feel like they did anything wrong. And so now you're just reopening a door that is gonna head to nowhere. Because let's talk about it. Let's just get on into it, right? You know, we get a conversation with Melody, and I'm gonna get to the other things. I'm going out of order, but I want to get to this conversation while I'm on it because I'm heated about it. You know, Melody and Kimmy get together for a spa day where they kind of recap a couple of different things. One of those things being, you know, the Kiowa situation. And, you know, Melody asked the question like, well, girl, you know, did you have anything to do with, you know, did you interrupt Kiowa and Maurice's situation? Which could be perceived as being messy, but Melody says they never talked about it. And I felt like that was a perfect opportunity for Kimmy to re-emphasize, no, we never, that was not the case. They had already signed their divorce papers, and we were simply like moving on. And Kiowa was the one that wanted to reconcile. So she let it be known, and she's basically stated it in the flashback, right? So there's the one thing that we see going on with Kimmy as she's navigating this with Melody. Now, the next thing that we see is the scene at the end with Kimmy and Kiowa. In this scene right here, I feel like Kimmy comes into this scene very carefully. First, how was Monster and how was Kiowa's conversation with Monster? And Kyle was like, you know, he's going through some things and he needs his mama. Fine. I think, okay, let's rock with it, roll with it. They need to figure out how Kyle was gonna come on down some more and whatnot and woo. But Kimmy's follow-up issue is, lady, you let the narrative play out that I was the homewrecker, that I was the side chick. And the side chick is the topic du jour on Love and Marriage Huntsville. It has been from day one. The idea of a side chick, the idea that someone is, or that there are, or that there may be 20. I don't know. But what I find interesting is that this is still something that Kimmy is having to, like, what it's like she's got to still get this slate wiped clean, mostly because Maurice is forcing her into this conversation. And I want you guys to know that she did let it be known, we in this situation because of you. Okay, I'm in this situation, I'm taking bullets from people, not literal but figuratively. I gotta bite the bullets for you because you put me in this situation. So now you telling me I need to go and settle it? No, no, Negro, you need to settle it. Period, point blank. Personally speaking, Kimmy and Kiowa ain't got to really ever communicate about anything but Monster. For real, for real. Because at the end of the day, Maurice wanting them to be kumbaya when Maurice, you know good and well that she sat at that table in the flashback and let it be known and made a statement that made it seem like Kimmy was trying to sneak in there while y'all was still together. You know that's what the situation is. Now, granted, the fans gonna run with whatever they want to run with, right? Based on who they like, how they feel that day, and what the episodes show. But at the end of the day, that situation is for Maurice to dispel. It's not for Kimmy to dispel with Kiowa. It's for Maurice to dispel with Kiowa. And until Maurice sets that situation straight himself on camera with Kiowa and makes her understand or gets her to finally admit that that was the case, then the situation will continue because Kiowa, even in the conversation with Kimmy, as we're going to see, even as spoiler alert, as Kimmy is addressing these things with her, like you let this thing get out there like this, like Kaya was gonna be like, well, I'm not in control of what the people say. I'm not in control. Girl, you are in control because you allowed it to be said because you made implications as to the fact that you believe that Kimmy was the side chick. You said those words, not verbatim, really kind of came out of your mouth. I mean, let's call a thing, people. Like, let's call it what it is. So, Kyle is sitting there like, well, I don't talk to the blogs and I, fourth wall breaking. And this is it's so interesting how casually that now that we're in this day and age where social media and the blogs and Facebook and tweets, all that kind of stuff really intersect with the shows in such a way that now breaking the fourth wall in this way, where it used to be a big deal in reality TV, is now it's just a casual mention. And it's just like it can even almost go over your head if you're not really paying attention to it. But Kyle says, I mean, I'm not I'm not talking to the interviews and the fan pages and whatnot. It didn't matter. You said it on the show. Period. No more, baby, I'ma do right. Because Maurice ain't gonna do right. So anyway, Leticia's doing a photo shoot for Macy and Mila's hair care brand. Kenya Moore Hair Care. That's all I was thinking the entire time. Kenya Moore Hair Care. Kenya Moore. Um. So anyway, the kids got a hair care line, and they got to get these images right for the Black Business Expo. So Kiki stops by, brings some food. Chick-fil-A at that. Okay. And I'm like, let me place my order for some Chick-fil-A. Kiki is a little upset because she heard something about Leticia getting the key to the city of Mobile, Alabama. Okay. So Leticia's going to have to travel down to Mobile to get the key to the city. Now, this is huge. And I understand this because I'm kind of the same way. Like, you can be so busy and like on like literally it honestly, I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. Like, I be on, like, I'm gonna do this video and I'm on to the next thing. Once I do this video, I can't think about it no more. I try to come back on, after I do the video to kind of do a little bit of like, commentating with y'all and stuff like that. But I really be on to the next video or thing that I gotta do. Or like selected. Oh my God. Y'all, speaking of which, my book cover, like I have gotten some people to submit book covers for book number 2. Baby, okay. When I tell you these covers 10 times better than I love the first cover. Don't get me wrong, but they have leveled up, okay, on this. They have leveled up. So I got some hard choices to make. But I understand what Leticia is saying, like you just be on to the next thing. And so she didn't get a chance to tell Kiki, and she apologizes for that too. And Kiki is like, well, I'm gonna be there, girl. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Spoiler alert, no, she won't. No, she won't. Okay. But in the meantime, in between time, um, we'll get to the rest of what Kiki got going on later. Melody, meets with Kimmy. We talked about that. And when I didn't mention is they kind of recap the last Core 6 meeting. And they talk about how, Melody wouldn't want to do the Black Business Expo because it has to do with Martell and they're still going through their custody thing, and how difficult that's being because they've had to allegedly sanction Martell several times after he's asked for primary custody. Kimmy advises that they need to learn how to meet in the middle, you know, like she got to meet with Kiowa in the middle. But anyway, um, Leticia is getting her hair braided, right? And just I want to say snaps for the unabashed, like, realness of it all. Like, I got to get my hair braided. So we gonna have to film this scene down to the hair salon, and Kiki gonna have to come down here, and I'm gonna have to tell Kiki about herself while my hair is half up, half down, half braided. Okay. Now, again, I like the realism in this scene. In some shows, there's this idea of the facade that everything, has to be perfect. And I get that, but I feel like, on a Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, we probably would. I mean, would we see that? Maybe we would see that if they was getting a glam done for something like that. But it was just refreshing to see somebody, just sitting at the hair salon. Let me get my hair braided. I got things to do, and I don't have time to be making concessions for Kiki, who cannot make concessions for me. Okay. So anyway, she got a bone to pick with Kiki because we do see this in the flashback. She did get the key to the city, but Kiki did not show up. Kiki texted her and let her know that she couldn't be there. I would have preferred to see the scene because I like a show and tell type situation, but they did give us a flashback, and it would have been nice to also see her reaction to getting the text message from Kiki that she wasn't coming. But maybe they didn't get that on camera because, I mean, it's only so much that they can film. So I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of slack for that, even though I wanted to see it, right? So, Kiki was a no-show. This has been a pattern for Kiki, allegedly, right? Now, Leticia takes this as a sign that she should be okay with Kiki not being a part of her life. Now, in my mind, and I want to know, do you guys feel like she should be giving Kiki some level of grace? Clearly, their relationship is much more complex than I think what the camera can actually show us. And even what they can tell us, there's a lot of complexities here and a lot of history that I think we would have to dive into with Ayanla before we really get to the root of the issue. And Ayanla might have them burying themselves in the backyard. But anyway, instead of doing that, we just gonna get our hair braided. All right. And so I wonder if I can braid my beard. No. So anyway, Kiki is having the hot flashes. Something going on, baby. Something is happening. Kiki got the hot flashes. And so what is apparently happening is she is because of the methadone or something like that. Now, this is due to her outpatient program. Now, the only thing I know about the methadone is that Marie Monroe got the methadone clinics down to the Jackson. Okay. That's really as much as I know about the methadone. I'm gonna have to do some research on my own to ask some kind of healthcare professionals to give me a really good breakdown on what this is and what it's about. But per my understanding from how they explained it in the scene, is that they have given her this instead of so that she is able to handle the withdrawals of whatever other medications or pills and potions she was taking at the time period that she was taking them. Now she has been on this medications for about a year, and she feels like she is ready to wean herself off. Now, given that the lady is going through with the dones and the hot flashes and the year of recovery, and there seems to be an issue with this car. I don't know. It sounds like something may be wrong with her car. Is the car not working? Is how far is mobile from Huntsville? You know what? Ain't nothing better to do it than look it up. How far? Hold on, let me see. Let me look it up. Oh, I don't want to lose that. Oh, I don't want to lose that either. Y'all know how you have so many screens open on your phone and you be like, I need to go back to that. It's okay. How far is Huntsville to Mobile, Alabama? Oh, okay. Well, that's 5 hours. I guess she ain't taking an Uber. She could have maybe taken a bus or a train. I can meet you by trailway. I can meet you by railway. I don't care how you get there. Just get there if you can. Apparently, Kiki could not. Okay. She could not get there. 5 hours and 19 minutes. That's what it say on my Google. And just so you know, I'm gonna show it to you. That's what it say. Can you read it? It says 5 hours and 19 minutes. So I guess she could not Uber down there. Well, she could have, but that would have been expensive. So I don't know what's going on with Kiki and her car situation, but she sure make it to the scene to film. Maybe she's taking the Uber or something. I don't know what's going on. All I know is she couldn't make it. And so Leticia's expressing this disappointment, and all I'm thinking to myself is, oh my God, the lady is on the she's talking about the methadone. The car is not working. She can't get down there. Give her some grace, Leticia. Leticia, could you have gone and picked her up? Could you have sent somebody for her? Y'all got money? Can you have sent the car? Apparently, she couldn't rent a car. I don't know why. If they wouldn't let her rent a car, if the car rental services down in the Huntsville don't have no cars for the weekends. I don't know what is going on. She couldn't ride with the crew down. I know somebody from the crew was going down there if they was able to show it, unless they were showing it from some type of other kind of camera feed, unless the crew said, I ain't going down there either, because it's 5 hours away. Why couldn't somebody couldn't have got Kiki down there? Now y'all playing with me. Somebody could have got her down there. I feel right bad for her. I do. I'm sorry, Leticia. I feel bad for her. I know you disappointed, but it just sounds like she's got a lot of chaos going on right now. And, she's working on herself. And so I just felt like I'm going to give her some grace because it sounds like a lot. And I'm being serious. I do wrap a lot of things in jest because, I want you guys, when you watch these videos, I want you to leave here feeling a little bit better than when you came in. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's my purpose. You know what I mean? I've discovered that that's my purpose as I've done this over the past few years. But um, so I am serious. But I mean, she do got a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot going on with her. She's got a lot happening, but she still managed to come to the scene dressed. Okay. So anyway, um, to shift gears, Leticia does invite her to the Black Business Expo. Hopefully, she'll make it to that. Thank God it ain't in Mobile. So, Mel dances her way into the Fletcher's house. I did not know that. Why didn't y'all tell me that Chris Fletcher was down to the Instagram streets and the TikToks, dancing away in the suits and things like that? I'm about to, you know what? I'm about to start dancing my way. I used to was dancing on my Instagram for a little while there, but then I got tired of Instagram because they be just Instagram these days. Can I just tell y'all? Sometimes I just be looking like I don't want to see this. They'll be showing like I'm looking for celebrity news. I'm looking for fashions. I'm looking for trips. Okay, those are the things I'm looking for. Meditations, black excellence, travel noir. I'm looking for housewives and reality T news and celebrity entertainment type of stuff. And so for some reason, I'm always seeing some type of tragedy on these Instagram streets. So I'll be having to cut my time down. Why am I talking about this? Oh, I know. That's why I did not know that Chris Fletcher be doing the dances. So anyway, this whole scene to me was fascinating because we flip-flop between Martell and Melody telling the stories about, what happened in court. And apparently Chris and Nell Fletcher, side note, how do you spell Nell? Because I know one time I saw it spelled Nalnail. Another time, like this time, I think I saw it spelled Nell. Nell. Can you tell us how you spell your name, or do you spell it different on different days? Okay, I just want to know because I'm curious because I want to make sure when I'm getting it in my notes that I'm getting your name right, Miss Nell. So anyway, how you Martell? How do you subpoena these people and don't tell them that you subpoena them? He did not tell Chris Fletcher nor Nell that they were being subpoenaed on his behalf, okay, to answer questions in the court. So Mel got to go around their house and she got to apologize for, hey, listen, I didn't want y'all to have to be involved in this situation. And if y'all was going to be involved, y'all should have known ahead of time. Because Nell was pissed about being subpoenaed to go down to the courthouse. And no, they did not lie. Now, we found out a couple of different pieces of information from this, and I'm not going to mince no words. I'm going to tell you what we found out. And I'm going to leave it up to you to make your own decisions about what happened and the outcome of this case, because I really didn't quite understand it, other than the fact that really nothing changed. So anyway, what we learned is that Martell, his house is being listed for sale. You know, the one that Sheree showed up at? Allegedly. I don't know. But apparently it is for sale and it is to be it's under contract actually. So they like, well, I mean, how many times this man gonna move? So how is the question I think then becomes, is he able to provide the stable household for that's necessary for the kids if he's constantly on the move? Okay. Maybe I don't know, maybe rent a house that is a little less lavish. And so then you can just stay there. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe buy a little something, something. Like I know if you, here's the thing. If you got the money to invest $100,000, okay, $100,000 into that men's line, because I know that's what that man said, $100,000, then you have $100,000 to put down as a down payment on a nice home for you and your kids, okay? And then at this point in time, it sounds like, and I don't know, that maybe you need some type of regular income, because based on what this sounds like, is I don't know that the wine is yet bringing in what you needed to bring in for you to be doing what you're doing. Now, if I were you, okay, Mr. Martell Holt, what I would do is I would take your do it. Listen, I see Mo Instagram trainers than a little bit. So I know if these people on here on this Instagram can make themselves trainers, then I know that you can make yourself a trainer too, because you was training Marceau allegedly. So why don't you start training the people? Because clearly, I'm gonna admit, we gotta admit. I mean, you can admit two things for sure. Martell does have a great body. He has a great physique. Two, he can wear a nice suit. I be looking at his suits like, your suit game. If ain't not, if I don't believe nothing that come out your mouth, I do at least like what you wearing. While I believe sometimes I ain't gonna call. I'm not gonna say the man be lying, but I just sometimes feel like sometimes some of what he says to me seems faulty. That's probably better. They seem faulty. That sound better, right? Sometimes, yeah, or they questionable. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I ain't gonna beat that horse. They surmise that he's having some cash flow issues though. Now, Martell is upset with his mama because he feel like she didn't go in enough. But I just feel like I feel so bad for Miss Marlene, because Miss Marlene is like, baby, it sounds like she retired. Is she retired? But it sounds like Miss Marlene is just trying to live her best life at this point in time. And so you cannot be faulting her for not going in and being honest when she's in the courtroom. I don't know what she was supposed to say. I don't know what this woman was asked, but dang, leave her alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, let her live. You expect all of these people to like go in for you, but at the end of the day, you are involving them in something that they don't want to be involved in. Okay. Martell tells his mom that it was actually Mel that wanted full custody. So who wanted full custody? Was it Mel or was it Martell? Because the next thing that Martell tells us is that Mel suggests that he have the kids for 6 months and then she have the kids for 6 months. And he and his mama are aghast at this. Okay. So did she want full custody or did she want the kids on and off for 6 months? I'm not quite sure what the situation is. The other thing that we learned is apparently the judge leaned in Martell's favor because Melody did not want to give that man her phone number. Now, I do agree that she probably does need to give that man a number, okay? But apparently there has been reasons why she does not give it to him, and that would include harassment, which is apparently a violation of Madison County laws. Allegedly, I'm not the lawyer, but I'm just basically going on my remembrance because I'm not looking down at my notes and I'm just freeballing it right now. Okay, freeballing. And so at this point, Mel is like, I'm about to appeal this thing because, she felt like the judge was very lenient on Martell. You know what I'm saying? And, was lenient with, submitting the paperworks and things of that nature. And it was just a lot of leniency apparently going on according to Melody. So she needs to find out what's really going on and make her grand appeal. Okay. So it sounds like things worked out in Martell's favor, but it sounds to me like they're back where they were. On one week, off the next. So I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Who won this round? I don't know. I guess we'll find out more as things progress. But that's all I got for y'all on this review. If you listen again, guys, book 2 is on the way. I seen the cover. Oh, I'm satisfied. So I got to end it with this.
So, Desiree Davenport, what are you hoping to accomplish with this show?
Honestly, I've lost everything in the most horrible way possible. And listen, I want it all back. I'm willing to build it piece by piece, and I mean brick by brick.
Oh, honey, she is done. I bet you a Birkin she doesn't last all season with us. Just watch.
I'm Misha Hill, and I'd like to consider myself the matriarch of this dynamic group of ladies. I mean, someone has to keep them under control.
I'm Davita Delaney.
I mean, I think I could teach these ladies a thing or two about how to get and keep a good man.
They said she was a gold digger. Gene, you did for me. I'm just really looking forward to being surrounded by other empowering bosses.
Yes, I know exactly what she's doing. And if she keep playing in my face, I'm gonna have to let her off her dirty little secrets just like she did to me. And I'm not playing.
Let's get this straight. If I brought you into this circle, I just as easily can take you out. She ain't running nothing over here, okay? She needs to be worried about running that household and worried about why that husband of hers is never at home.
Oh, hell.
Ooh, child, this is about to be a mess.
Oh my God, I hate mess. What in the world did I get myself into?